Let's see. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. And let me ask you, do you see it?
Yeah, I see it, but like, you know, like it's on like your camera screen, so like I have to pin you to be able to see it.
What do you see now?
It's kind of getting blurry, but it's just how Muslims go to the bathroom.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, can you see it now? Like properly?
Yeah, I can see it.
Like properly, like without blurriness.
Yeah, it's not blurry.
Can you read that clearly?
Yeah.
What do you read?
Puritans and hygiene as Muslims.
Okay. Do you see the slide changing?
Yeah. No,
What do you see?
it didn't change.
It didn't change. Okay. I got it. I know what to do. Let's put that away. It's display capture. Okay, now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see the slide change?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. Now let's go to me. You see that?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay, now you see me again with a different angle.
Yes.
Wow. Now you see me both.
Yep.
Brilliant. And now you see the PowerPoint.
Yes.
Okay, so now do you see me with the PowerPoint?
Yep.
Fancy stuff, eh? Like it's like you're watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So who do we have? Let's go back to me. Student. Okay. Okay, so who do we have from the group? Or is this it? Josefa, is there anyone else we're expecting? I thought there were like going to be quite a lot of people.
I think there's one more person.
There's one more person. Do you know who
Yeah.
that is?
No, I don't remember the name, but I think it's like Ayan. I think so.
Okay. Now, Arhan, can you say hi to me?
Hi.
Assalamu alaikum. Why is your camera off?
Alaikum salam.
Is it okay if you can put your camera on, and Josefa as well? So I know I'm speaking to humans and not aliens from outer space.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, mashallah, look at that. Handsome people. We got Arhan handsome, we got Hassan who's handsome, mashallah. Are you all related? Are you all friends? What's going on?
Oh yeah, like I know Hassan's mom. Like our moms know each other.
Okay, your moms are friends. Arhan, you're just do you know any of them from outside this session?
No.
Okay, cool. No worries, but you don't know them here. Arhan, but who's the other account? Is that your parent?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Assalamu alaikum to Arhan's parents. Um, okay, I have a big soccer game that's going on. I really want to watch it. So I'm going to start, okay? So this is important to me as well. I hope you're going to have a good, enjoyable time. We are going to be speaking about, I thought there was going to be a young lady here as well. So it's just us. Never mind. So, folks, we are going to be speaking about so I can't see your chat box. So if you have any questions and stuff, just open the mic and ask, okay? But today we are going to be speaking about this appearance and hygiene as Muslims. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What does appearance mean to you, and what does hygiene mean to you guys?
So hygiene means like to be clean, like how to clean yourself. And appearance is like what you wear or how you look.
Mhm. Anyone else? Francis? Arhan?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? Why don't you try for one? What does high appearance mean to you?
Like the looks of someone or
Mhm.
they're like yeah, looks.
Okay, very good. And can you give me an example of hygiene?
Hygiene, like when you take a shower.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. Okay, and we have Hassan. Can you give me some more examples of appearance and hygiene? What does that mean to you?
Appearance to me is like being like modest in front of other and like the opposite gender or anything like that. And then hygiene is considered to keeping yourself clean so that you smell good or you look good. So then other people, just to stay like just have good hygiene and yeah, stay clean and look clean.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, mashallah. So all of you have pinpoint majority of the stuff that what appearance and hygiene means. But then there's appearance and hygiene that the world tells us, our teachers may tell us, our friends may tell us from school. But then there's the appearance and hygiene the way we as Muslims do it. And believe it or not, our religion tells us how to do everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. And how to look good, how to smell good, how to make sure you're clean and squeaky in the parts that no one needs to know, and now all the parts that everyone can see as well. All right. So today we're going to be speaking about a lot of those things very, very quickly. Okay, let's see how much time we have. It was 11:13. So we're definitely going to be speaking about how you look. So you see my little boy at the end, right? He's wearing the Moroccan clothes because Morocco won today. They beat Portugal, right, in the World Cup. If you're watching, if you follow the soccer. Um, um, and then we're also going to speak about, someone says showering, Arhan said about showering, so how we shower. How do we shower as Muslims? Like we actually have a protocol on how to do that, like a way to do that. Okay. We're also going to be speaking about how to go to the bathroom and how to clean ourselves after we've done from the bathroom, from the toilet, how we poop, how we pee, right? Is that what you guys call it, poop and pee? Like what would you say in school?
Using the bathroom.
Uh, using the bathroom. Okay, using the bathroom, but like specifically, is there other words you use for number one, number two? If I say that, would you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Arhan, do you understand if I say number one, number two?
Yeah.
Okay, good man. And Hassan, I assume you do as well. Okay, can you see me as well when you see this presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see on like the waterfall.
Yes, sweet, 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 sweet. Okay. Now let me move myself a little way. So everything that we do as Muslims is because of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us and what our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu has informed us and instructed us to do. Very quickly, can someone read this slide for me? Huzaifa, go on, read it for me, for us.
A glorification of Allah is half the scale.
Start from the
praise-
title, please.
Oh, what did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say about being clean?
Go on.
Glorification of Allah is half the scale. Praise of Allah fills it. And exaltation of Allah fills what between earth and the heavens. No, the heavens and the earth. Fasting is half of patience, and purification is half of faith.
Brilliant. So this is a hadith. A hadith is something that our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when we say his name, we should all be saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which means peace be upon him. He said, "التسبيح نصف الميزان والحمد لله يملأه والتكبير يملأ ما بين السماء والأرض والصوم نصف الصبر والطهور نصف الإيمان." So when we say subhanallah, 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 all of that is fills up half of the scale. Which scale is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking about? He's speaking about the scale of all the good deeds and bad deeds that we do. As we know, as Muslims, all the good things that we do and all the bad things that we do is all being measured up, and that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala present that in front of us and will tell us if we have more good deeds than bad deeds, then we go to Jannah, and that's the only option we want. The rest doesn't matter. Okay? So when we say subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that our scale will be half full by saying just that. And when we say alhamdulillah, it fills the scale. And then when we say Allahu Akbar, right, then we go beyond the scale, it fills up everything, the heaven and the earth. And then our Prophet says that if you fast, it is half of patience, right? And if you purify yourself, that's half of faith, of iman. So this hadith, this saying of the Prophet ﷺ is telling us about what it means to be clean, pure, and elevated in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the way I have summarized it for you is here. My body, mind, soul. We have to be clean in these three parts. Our bodies should be clean, right? Our minds should be clean. So by fasting, we keep our bodies clean. By fasting, we also keep our mind clean, right? Because fasting is not just being hungry and thirsty, it is also staying away from all the bad things, staying away from all the bad thoughts and all the bad speech, all the bad things that we may look at, hear, all those things, right? So that's body and mind. The soul is also a thing. We don't know exactly what the soul looks like or how it feels. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it just as a command of Allah, right? And the way the soul gets clean is through doing dhikr of Allah, remembering Allah, through praying our namaz, through reading our Quran, by doing our tasbih, right? So doing subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, that is cleaning the soul. That is cleaning the soul. So, as I said, cleaning the soul means we do worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want to do the next two slides very quickly because of time. Worship, remember, is of two parts. There's one worship that is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we do it only for Allah, because of Allah, and that is our namaz, our prayers, our fasting, our going to Hajj, our giving zakat, which inshallah when all of you start to earn money, we start to give zakat, right? All of that is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to do it. We have to do it, right? And without it, we will be at loss. We'll be like losers. We don't want to be losers. We want to be winners. Then there's a type of worship, right, which Allah has made for us so that we fulfill the right of other people. We live as social beings. We live with other people. We don't live like hermits in a cave alone, right? Although sometimes we want to do that, but we can't do that, and we should never do that, right? So, so as we're living with people, we have to be able to know how to live with one another. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made certain ways of worship that allows us to fulfill those relationships. So for example, the taking care of our parents and listening and obeying our parents is a worship. If we do it for Allah, right? It's a type of worship that that fulfills the rights of our parents. Then we have to be kind and generous to everyone around us, including our brothers and sisters, and our grandparents, and our neighbors, and so on and so forth. We are not to lie. We are always to be honest. When we are doing, like, if we're helping people in our homework, right? We don't tell them the wrong answer. We give them the right answers, right? So that they also succeed in their exams or in their tests or whatever, or their homework. Ultimately, the most important thing you need to know about worship and any type of worship is the idea of patience, of intention. Oop, I'm going too far. Right, of intention. If you intend to do things for the sake of Allah and His Prophet, your soul will always be clean. So not only do you have to intend the right thing, you also have to do the right thing. Like, you can't say, I am doing something for the sake of Allah and His Prophet, and then you go rob a bank. No, that doesn't work. Just because you're going to do that and help poor people, you're not Robin Hood. Allah doesn't allow us to be Robin Hood. Do you know who Robin Hood is, Huzaifa?
What?
Do you know who Robin Hood is?
Oh yeah, the person who, like, he steals money from, like, the rich and gives it to the poor.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that in Islam. Sounds fancy, sounds cool, sounds like superhero-like. No, but doesn't work. That's not allowed. We can't do the wrong thing, even if it's for a good reason or good intention. Okay. Now, that's us cleaning our soul. Now we also, as I said, we have to clean our mind. The way we clean our mind is making sure that the things that go into our mind, we're putting the right things in. And the way we do that is through our senses. Through our ears, we listen to things. Through our eyes, we see things. Through our limbs, we touch things and feel things. Through our mouth, we taste things. And through our nose, we smell things and take things in, right? Especially the first two, if what you hear and what you see are clean, are good, so if you're listening to Quran, if you're listening to dhikr, if you're listening to good things, like people giving good advice, and you're around the right people who are giving you the right things to tell, right? That will give you a clean mind. The opposite is listening to things which are not clean. Stand-up comedy is often in America in particular, is not that clean. It has all these dirty jokes in it, right? Being with friends who always, the only thing they find funny is dirty stuff, right? That's not clean. People listening to music, especially a lot of music nowadays, that's not clean. It's dirty, right? So what you hear, what you put through your ears, it will go to your mind, and that will have an impact. What you see, if you're reading the Quran, even if you're looking at your parents with a smile, that's good. That's a sunnah, and that gives you reward, right? If you're doing your homework and you're watching things, you're learning, looking at lectures with intentions and stuff, this is going to help me in my work or whatnot. And if you're watching a film or a cartoon which is clean, and you're doing that as a family so that your family can get together, even that's okay, as long as what you are watching is clean. But then there are things which we can see which are wrong. A lot of TikTok is wrong, right? A lot of Instagram is wrong. I'm not going to go into the details. Huzaifa, Hassan, I know you guys know, right? Who else do I have here? Arhan, right? Do you have a phone, Arhan?
Oh, hi.
Yes.
Yes, you do have a phone.
Yes.
Do you have TikTok?
No, I don't use
Good.
TikTok.
Good. What do you use though?
I use like YouTube.
You use YouTube. Okay. And do your parents have they made the settings on your YouTube?
Yeah, I have like
Okay.
that setting.
Good. Good. Don't that's very good. So, but it's a big bad word out there, right? We have to be very, very careful. Sometimes we don't even intend to. We're not even looking or trying to look at things. But the way the internet works, it sometimes puts things in our faces, where we can sometimes be driving, walking down, going to school, doing something, and there be things that, which are not good for our eyes, right? As Muslims. But non-Muslims don't really care because they don't follow the same way of living as we do. But we have to be careful. We have to do our part. I used to live alone. I live with my parents now. I'm 30 years old, but I was when I was 18, I left home to go to university, and I lived for the next 10 years by myself, right? And I'm a young man, and especially during summertime, when the ladies, when they don't wear the nice clothes, the good clothes, the halal clothes, and I said, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made my eyes bad, right? So I used to take off my glasses and used to walk because I couldn't see the wrong things, right? So obviously trying to avoid not to get killed at the same time. But we have to be careful. We have to do our part. We have to do our part in making sure, because what you see has a huge impact on what you then think about things. So that's the whole point of having a clean mind. Obviously, eating halal and smelling good things as well. So you're trying to be near the perfume, not the toilet. If that makes sense. Now, the main topic of today is about clean body. And as I said, we're going to speak about toilets, how to go to the toilet properly as Muslims. How do we shower? How do we clean our teeth? And then how do we look good and look slick, look like handsome guys, right? So, how do we go to the toilet? Now, this sounds so silly. We should all know how to go to the toilet, right? Because our parents taught us when we were young, and I've been doing it for since before I can even remember my own name, right? And before my mother used to clean my poop and used to change my Pampers, now I can do it myself. Thank you very much. I'm a great grown boy. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know how to clean themselves in the Muslim way, including adults, right? So I'm going to help you. I'm going to be teaching you a few things today. So number one, when you go poop and pee to any toilet, and that's where you should be doing it, in a toilet, right? Because it gets complicated when you're traveling, and if you don't have a toilet, there's a whole slightly different rules on what to do. But mainly you'll be going to the toilet. Now you should go to the clean toilet, right? Now, if you're at school, if you're in a public place, they're not always clean. And as we know, non-Muslims, they don't know how to aim to the toilet, so they're always peeing around outside on the toilet seat, and there's pee everywhere. If you go outside of America to places like Pakistan, India, they sometimes don't know how to use the toilet seat as well, and they don't know how to poop in one of those things. So you find poop outside of the toilet seat. my advice to you is get out of there, right? Don't try to clean it. Don't do anything. Just get out of there. Find another toilet to go to if you can hold yourself, right? That's my first advice. Number one, number two, our aim is to always try and sit down and do these things. Someone has a question. Who has a question?
What happens if you need to go like quick? And what if it's an emergency?
It depends. Are we speaking about poop or pee?
Like pee.
Okay, we're coming to that. Good question. Very, very good question. Because I was just about to tell you about that. As I said, our first aim is to sit down or do it like our people back in India and Pakistan where they squat. Oh my God, you should learn how to squat and poo and pee. It's the best thing ever, right? Oh man, whenever I can find a squat toilet, I love it because if you feel yourself clean. Now, some of us who've been born and raised in America, we find that very difficult. Well, you know what that means? You need to start doing exercise for your thighs, right? You work on your squats, develop some good leg muscles, and be able to go. But you are obviously, generally, if you're in America, you will be going and sitting on a toilet seat. But that's the general way of doing it. And when you do go on one of those seats, right, make sure you sit so that your bum is in the middle and that your private part where you're going to pee from is able to go into the hole of the toilet. Okay, so that's very, very important. Number two, your question, Arhan, what happens if the toilet is not clean, right? In our religion, they tell us that you're not allowed to pee, stand up and pee for us as guys, right? That's technically not always the case. There are times when the Prophet ﷺ, when he was in an area where it was dirty and he couldn't sit down, he did stand up and pee, okay? What's very, very important, whether you're standing or you're sitting down, right, is that you make sure your clothes are away from your body part that's going to do the business, okay? So I'm not saying that you have to take off your trousers or whatnot, but you have to be careful about your clothes because what you don't want is any of your dirty stuff going on your clothes. Now, if you're in a public space, the floor can be dirty, the toilet seat on the sides could be dirty, even though it seems clean on the top, right? So make sure your clothes don't touch the floor, nor does it try to touch any other part of the toilet seat. Okay. Now, how clean is clean? Our religion is very easy. As long as it looks clean and you don't have any knowledge of there being dirty stuff on that, from the Islamic perspective, that's clean. Okay. You're not supposed to get yourself a mop and a brush and soap and clean the whole thing before you go to a toilet, right? You look with your eyes. If it looks clean, there's no evidence, there's nothing to say that there's any dirt around here, you assume it's clean. Okay, so that's the other thing. So we spoke about the place it should be clean. Try to sit down, and if you can't sit down, as boys we can stand up and do it, but don't make that a habit. Just do that in cases of emergency. The last thing I would say about going to the toilet, you complete the job, right? What does that mean? Okay, so I'm going to change my camera angle here, right? I have little props to help you. So firstly, where's my buddy here? This is my buddy. So when we're speaking about doing the job, right? So when you're going toilet for your poop, make sure you poop all the way. Make sure the whole poop is done as best as you can, okay? At the same time, don't stress too much. And I'm a medical student as well, so I can tell you this. When you strain too much, in the long run, that's not good for you. So don't do that. If at some point you just can't get the thing out and it's taking too long, you just stop and you clean yourself and you go and come back next time for the next turn. Okay. When you're going for a pee, what does it mean to do a complete pee? Now, I have this little tool, right? So it's very, very important that when you are peeing, and after you feel that you've done the bigger business, you make sure you press on your pipe and make sure you go from the back and you go all the way to the tip and you make sure all the pee comes out. Okay. Now, also, you know that with your pipe, you also have your bag. If you actually slightly press on the back of your bag, some of the pee also comes back out, This is what it means to do a complete pee, right? Because if you don't do that, what happens? You stand up, right? And some of that pee will come and it will come into your underwear. And it will make your underwear dirty. That's not what you want. That is not what you want. That's why you do, you clean the pipe, you make sure the pee comes out, you press on the back of your bag, right? And then it would also allow some of the pee to come. And before I move on, are there any questions? Does that make sense? Am I just making stuff up, or does that make any sense? Hassan, Hazaifa, yes, no?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Now, once you've done that sitting down, right, you stand up, okay? And then you turn back around to the toilet seat and then do just one last shake. And you make sure that when you shake not too vigorously, right? So it goes everywhere in all your clothes, but enough so that or whatever comes out goes into the toilet seat, okay? Now, you've done a complete poo, you've done a complete pee. How do you clean yourself? Now, if you stood up, you have to go back, sit down, okay? Now, you are to use your left hand always. You are to use your left hand to use your pipe and make sure, right? Imagine your right hand almost doesn't exist, but you use your left hand to clean yourself. How do we clean ourselves? So first and foremost, right, we wipe. So I've got props for you. So say you take 2 pieces of paper, right? You start off wiping your pipe. How do you wipe your pipe? Well, here, again, you push on the pipe from the top and you do it once, you fold the paper, you do it twice, you fold the paper, and you do a 3rd time and you fold the paper, and then you throw it away. And if you feel there's still stuff there, you get another piece of paper and do the process again. Make sure you do things in 3s. And every time you use it once, you fold it so that you're using a newer part of the paper. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm looking at Josefa, that makes sense. Now, when you go poop, when you clean your bum for after doing a poop, it's the same thing. And always you're using your left hand. You wipe, and you wipe from front to back. Especially if there's any girls out there, that's very, very important. You wipe from front to back. You wipe it once, you fold the paper, you wipe it twice, you fold the paper, you fold it thrice, and you wipe, and then you throw it away. And you continue doing this process with a new piece of paper, right? Until you don't see any stuff anymore. Okay? And I say stuff as in obviously you know what that means, but it has to, when you can't see with your eyes. Once you're done with that, then you imagine this is your water bottle or your pipe, the shower that you use, or whatnot, and then you clean. And if you feel that you need to use your left hand, you do so, and you clean again. You go wipe from front to back, wipe from front to back, making sure the pipe is towards the area that you pooped from. Okay, so that's important. And then Once you feel that you've cleaned yourself, you make sure you dry yourself. You don't want to go out with a wet bun. It doesn't, especially in the winter, right? And you got a patch on your back and everyone's gonna laugh at you. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So that's in the best case scenario where you have paper, where you have water, and you're able to do all of that business. Now, what if you don't have paper? Well, you have to use water. Okay. That's it. You just use when water is the best thing. What if you don't have water? Well, you're allowed as Muslims to use paper, and you continue using paper until you don't see any dirt anymore, right? And what that means is that you can, once you're finished with your poop and pee, you can go do your wudu and go pray. You're in the eyes of Allah, you're clean, right? Because our understanding of clean as Muslims is different to what our society tells us and what even medicine tells us, right? So we have definitions for in a different way. So in terms of what is clean as a Muslim, that's what we're focusing on today. So those are the things that you have to do. So as I said, use your left hand, wipe first, front to back, then you wipe, fold, wipe, then you throw it away and repeat. Different paper for poop, and you have to use a different paper for pee. So it's not like, oh, I just wipe for my pee, and then I'm going to use the same paper for my poop. No, don't do that. Just change the paper. Okay, don't be stingy. So that's that. Another thing is very important. Do not use wet tissue. We actually, as Muslims, from what I've been learning from my teachers, we're not allowed to use wet wipes. Because what wet wipes do is that they spread the dirt. Sometimes you feel like, what if I go take one of the towels, paper towels, wet it, come back, right? Especially when I don't have a bottle or something, and then I clean, then I use the water from that to clean myself, and no, don't do that. Just do not use wet wipes. Do not use wet tissues. They will only spread the business. So it's better to do exactly what I said. Use a dry wipe first, and if you have water, then use water. If you do not have water, just dry wipe, and that should be enough. And obviously, once you've done that, and say you then move, say if you're in school and they don't have water and you don't have a bottle, you clean yourself, you do your business, you pray your namaz and everything, and then you come back home, you can always clean yourself with water again afterwards. But that doesn't mean that your namaz and you were not clean before. In the eyes of Allah, you were clean. Any questions? This is very, very important. I know there are parents around as well, so if parents have questions, they're free to ask as well. Okay, I'll take that as a no. Okay, alhamdulillah, we've gone through that part. Time is up. Now we're going to speak about how to have a shower as Muslims. Put myself away for a second. So the way what we call shower in the Islamic shower, I guess, is called a ghusl. There are various reasons to have a ghusl. But imagine showering. Whenever you have a shower, just make the intention of a ghusl. That way you get reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very important days to have a shower. At least one should have a shower on Friday before going to Jummah namaz, right? If you're one of those lazy people who just hates water on their body, right? You have to do at least one shower a week. But the recommendation is that you actually have 2 showers a day. One in the morning before you start your day, and one in the evening, either after you come back from school or after doing something, all the sweaty things that you've done, or before you go to bed. Especially if you're in your teenage years, where you will sweat more, will have a lot more oils coming out of you, is so as in terms of cleanliness, that is so important. you at least have 2 showers a day. That's the recommendation. If you can't do 2 showers a day, at least have 1 shower a day. The way to have a shower, number one, as Muslims, you always have intention. We're doing it for the sake of Allah. You say Bismillah, then you wash your hands, and then with your left hand, right, you wash your private parts. And then this, and this is where you apply your soap. And if you see on the left side, these are the places you want to kind of clean yourself. Your arms, right, especially like in your elbow areas, right, and in your armpits, right, that's where all the sweat comes around. You have to wash your legs. Just because you wash the body and the water falls down doesn't mean your legs are being automatically clean. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to scrub your legs. Scrub your legs. You have to wash your chest and your stomach, right, with soap as well. Then you shampoo your hair with your beautiful shampoo, with your L'Oreal's and what else you have, Head and Shoulders. You wash your bum, your bottom. Even if you can't see it, you still have to clean it, right? And using something to wash your back, using one of those big stick thingies with the brush and stuff. You wash your feet, and that includes the back of your knees, right? When you're washing your legs, or don't forget the back of the knees, and between the toes, right? You wash your face. You wash your face, right? So easy to forget the face sometimes. And obviously, you wash your private parts, and then you wash your neck. These are all these important places to wash. Once you've done all of that with the soap, then you perform your wudu. And I'm hoping everyone knows how to make wudu, just so you don't, if you don't remember, on the left bottom side, you can see all the things you have to do. Washing hands, rinsing your mouth, rinsing your nose, washing your face from top to bottom, and to the side 3 times. Start washing the arms, starting from your fingertips all the way to the elbow, starting with the right arm, do it 3 times. Then you move on to the left, right? Then you wipe your head, even though you've thrown water over it, you still wipe your head, right? And then you clean your ears. And now in a ghusl, you don't actually wash your feet right now. Okay, you wait. You clean your ears and you wait. As it says over here. What you do after you've cleaned your ears is that you now stand under the shower and you let the water run over you. And once you've let the water run over you, right, once you've done that, you then basically move to the left so that your right side now gets all the water, and you may want to kind of use your arm to kind of put it over your right side without touching your private parts. And then you move to the right so the water is now moving on your left side, and then you do the same thing. You wipe over your left side so the water goes all over your left side. And once you've done that, you then wash your feet. Starting with your right, then your left. Any questions? Hello?
No,
Okay. Is this making sense? Or am I going too fast?
it's making sense.
Do you want me to repeat things?
Well, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Back to here. Now, we've done the ghusl, we've done the washing, how to wash, doing wudu. Now, for the teenagers in this room, as you know, all of us know, our bodies go through changes. And as we're going through changes, we will start to notice a few things. And the main thing really for us is that we'll notice hair growing in parts where it wasn't growing before, our armpits and our private places. Those hairs need to be removed. How often? Well, either every 40 days, right? That's about a month and 10 days. Or if you see that the hair is growing like about, you can say about 2-3 centimeters, which is still a lot. But let's say 1.5 centimeters, if your hair is that long, you now have to remove that hair. How do you remove that hair? Well, for time, I'm just going to say speak to your dad or some male guardian that you trust, right? Speak to them about that. to be honest, I asked my mother because my dad wasn't around. My mother's cool that way. So, and there's no shame in asking your moms or asking even your older sisters and helping these things, because this is all to do with pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And wherever we get our knowledge from, it's absolutely fine. But all of us, even though we're not maybe teenagers, our nails grow, right? We have to make sure we cut our nails, not bite our nails, cut our nails, right? Using nail clippers. And once you start growing a mustache, you have to make sure your mustache is trimmed so that it doesn't go over your lip. And the major sunnah is to keep your mustache shorter than your beard. And also as teenagers, you will start to notice a lot of oily skin. And this is very quickly how to kind of make sure that you're not going to suffer from acne. So these spots come up. So I get this a lot,
Brother
right?
Hassan, excuse me, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Like Sam.
Are you able to, Arhan actually has to leave a little, we're gonna sign off right now.
Okay.
But I know you guys upload the video to YouTube, on YouTube, right? Or on the WhatsApp?
I actually have not recorded this, my bad. But what I can do is give you the slides on to Ustad
It's showing
Farhan.
that it's recording.
Is
It
it?
is showing that it's recording, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, brilliant. Then the Ustad Farhan will have that video, and then I'll ask him to share it to you with you guys.
Okay. Jazakallah, thank you so much.
I hope this was what you guys wanted in terms of covering all this stuff.
You know what? Yes, it was just an overall, view of from like the Islamic standpoint of like the importance of cleanliness and hygiene. And I think you did definitely touch on that. So that was great.
I thought that it's more important from the practical side than the spiritual side and how to do things. We can always speak about the religious spiritual side later. Because some of these things get lost sometimes. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, barakallah fi. Okay, we've got 2 more slides. I'm going to be very quick about this one. Making sure you clean your teeth. Brush your teeth at least twice a day. Once in the morning, then once before bed. And then if you guys can get yourself one of these things, right? So this is a miswak, right? The Prophet ﷺ loved the miswak. Where are you guys? Where's the... Okay, there you are. So the Prophet ﷺ loved the miswak, loved it. And it was actually the last thing he did before he passed away. He actually cleaned his teeth. So I keep this on me, and you can keep it in your bag. You can swish it, and basically all this does is helps you maintain your teeth. It maintains fresh breath. So when you're speaking to people, they don't smell the garlic after you've had that shawarma, right? So that's very important. We all know that. We can speak to your dentist about that. You don't want to lose teeth. You don't want to get cavities and stuff. But that's important as Muslims as well. As I said, the Prophet ﷺ would have ordered this like as a compulsory thing for us if it wasn't difficult, but he didn't. So that's the other thing. The last thing is making sure you look good. First and foremost, right? When we're speaking about looking good, the first thing all of us have to be concerned about is hijab. What? As guys, we have to think about hijab? Yes. Hijab means modesty. So even us guys have modesty. We have to be modest in how we appear. So these are some of the 5 guidelines that are important. Your clothes should be covering your aura. As guys, the minimum is above your belly button and to your knees or below the knee. But just because that's it doesn't mean you don't go beyond. You go beyond, right? Your clothes should be loose. They should be like stick tight, and you're not, that's not aura. That's not good for guys and girls. Your clothes should not be transparent. You should always try to conceal. It shouldn't be see-through. I shouldn't be able to see your belly button, right? Even as guys. The clothes that we wear are not supposed to make us look, they should be good, they should be high quality if we can. But if those clothes make us look different in the sense that people think we're being arrogant, or we're wearing it because we want to look cool and better than others, that's not why we wear it, right? This is why we should avoid clothes that have like these big brandings, like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, like big G's and big C's and big, all these big logo thingies. We should avoid that as Muslims, because it doesn't give a good impression. It feels like we are trying to show off, and that's really, really bad. And also, clothes should not have things that have are to do with non-Muslims. So avoid clothes with crosses on them. Avoid clothes with names of different people's gods, or face of idols, or statues, things like that. The general rule is you have to ask yourself: if I wear these clothes, would I be able to pray in them? That's a very, very good way of thinking about it, right? And if you can't pray in them, then it's best to avoid wearing these things. The other thing also is to wear clothes that match your gender. If you're a guy, you wear guy clothes, right? If you're a girl, you wear girl clothes. It doesn't get simpler than that. There are certain clothes which are like both guys and girls can wear, like a hoodie. Are there certain hoodies which anyone can wear? But generally speaking, what guys should wear guy clothes, girls should wear girl clothes. That also depends on the culture that you live in, right? Like I think we're all Indian Pakistanis here. The men's shalwar kurta is slightly different to the women's shalwar kurta. Our jeans and trousers and shirts are different than a lady's jeans, trousers, and shirt. So you have to think about that. It's important to look symmetrical, look nice, look coordinated. We're also ambassadors of Islam. People are looking up to us. They're like, oh, that's Zayfa. He's a Muslim, but if he's wearing clothes that look like a clown, I'm sorry, that doesn't seem like a good thing, right? So you have to coordinate your clothes. So you have to understand a bit of fashion. What colors go with one another. So that's important. Make sure you iron your clothes. Make sure you are symmetrical, right? So you don't wear one red sock, one yellow sock. That's actually not allowed in Islam. You make sure you wear perfume and deodorant. You smell good. But then again, you don't put on things which are going to be so strong that it messes with people's noses and senses. You don't do that. Last thing, make sure you comb your hair, you have a haircut. And even when the haircut that you have has to be one which is approved by the Sunnah. So again, it doesn't look like you're being a non-Muslim. It doesn't make you look like an animal. It's just a nice and neat haircut as well. Okay. And that's it. Any questions? Any question, guys?
No.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Should I quiz you?
No. I don't really like
Okay.
quizzes.
I'm not going to ask about quizzing, but at least Hassan, what did you take from this? What did you learn? What was something new that you learned?
I didn't know that you can't have like different, like wearing socks. I didn't know that they have to be matching. And yeah, I didn't know that a lot of stuff until like I attended this lecture. So this was very, very informative.
I did not know you can stand up and like pee, like in emergencies.
Yeah. That you can stand up in emergencies, right? Because it's better to pee and get it out than have it on your clothes, right? So I think that's important. Okay, well, I'm happy that you learned something. I'm happy that I was able to share some of these things with you. So the video for the Zoom would be with Ustad Farhan, inshallah. You can go over the video. We've been through the slides. And if you want the PowerPoint, I can always send that over as well. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us people who are clean, who smell nice and smell good and look good, and that we are good ambassadors of Islam to as we go in public. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify us, our outside and our inside. Remember, part of all of this is we're doing the outside part, but as we said from the beginning, Allah looks at the inside purification more than anything. And even if you look good, smell good, speak good, but if your inside is terrible, if you're a terrible human being, it doesn't matter how well you look and sound and smell. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not like you. We're doing all of this so that our outside and our inside should all be liked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify us from inside, make us people who remember Allah, pray our namaz, read our Quran, and we ask God to forgive us of all the wrong things that we've done, and give us knowledge and wisdom to always do the right thing. Ameen. Thank you guys. It's been lovely seeing you and spending time with you. And we'll see you next time, I guess. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum assalam.